What's up, you guys? Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for clicking on today's video. I promise my full body is here. It just looks like I'm a floating head because I decided for some reason to wear the exact same color as the curtains are behind me. But with that out of the way, let's get straight into the topic of today's video. Today I want to talk about why it is harder, or why it seems to be harder to lose those last 10 pounds compared to when you are first starting off your weight loss journey. This is something that a lot of people believe and a lot of people say, and I honestly am somebody that believes this as well. I think that there's a lot of different reasons why that is. Before we get into the last 10 pounds, I want to talk about the start of your weight loss journey. So I genuinely do believe that the more weight you have to lose, the easier it is to lose weight at the start. I'm not saying that it's easy once you get down in weight, but at the start, if you have 200 pounds to lose, losing that first 30 pounds is always going to be easier than losing the last 30 pounds. So there's a couple of reasons why this is. The first reason is that when you start a diet, especially if you're morbidly obese, you're usually gonna be cleaning up what you're eating, you're gonna be eating less sodium, and you're gonna be losing a lot of water weight at the start. Now, it's not all gonna be water weight, there's definitely going to be some fat loss as well, but it is just a little bit easier because the bigger you are, the more calories you have to play with. Now, I know in my last video, I talked about TDEE, and that's exactly what we're gonna be talking about today. I talk about it a lot because I genuinely think it is one of the most important tools for you guys to know to lose weight. So if you do not know what TDEE is, I 100% recommend checking out the video that I put up recently. I will link it down in the description, but basically it's the amount of calories that you burn throughout a day. So I went on the TDEE website and calculated a 400-pound male who's 26 years old and is very sedentary, and their TDE, or the amount of calories they need to eat to maintain that weight, is 3,342 calories. So to lose weight, obviously, right, you want to be in a deficit. So it is a lot easier to be at a deficit when you can eat 3,300 calories than when you get closer to that goal weight. So I went ahead and calculated the TDEE of somebody that is 200 pounds, and I did all the same exact, they're 26 years old, they're sedentary, all the same exact things. So say they lost 200 pounds and now they're trying to lose another 10 pounds, they want to get down to 190 pounds. So their TDEE is 2,253 calories. So to be in a deficit, they have to be eating under that amount of calories. So just seeing the difference in those numbers, there's over 1,000 calorie difference in the TDEE, and there's nothing different, right? They have not started working out, they're not getting more exercise, everything has stayed the same, but now they have to eat 1,000 calories less to maintain that weight. So common sense says, obviously it's going to be easier for the person that's 400 pounds because they're able to eat a lot more while still being in a deficit. And this is the basis of why it is more difficult to lose weight when you are closer to that goal weight, because most of the time, almost always, you have to be eating less calories than when you started. So that 200-pound person just has to be more on point. They don't have as much wiggle room, they don't have as many calories that they can eat, and that's not their fault. That is just how it works. The bigger you are, the more calories you're able to eat. So my tips for the person that might be really close to that goal weight and they just have a few more pounds to lose and they're really trying to get there, this is what I would say to you. The first thing I would do is recalculate your TDEE. If it's something that you did before, you've lost 60 pounds since then, I would make sure to recalculate that just to make sure that you're eating the right amount of calories that you need to be eating to be losing weight. And then the second thing, obviously, is you want to be in a deficit. Now, what you're probably gonna have to do is either increase your activity or decrease your calories. So if your TDEE is 2,000 calories to remain the same and you're eating 1,700 calories, what I would recommend is I would always say increase your activity before you decrease the calories. Because I wouldn't want you being like, okay, I'm eating 1,700 calories, now I need to dial that back to 1,400 or 1,500 calories. What I would say instead is try to increase that activity, whether it's walks, maybe you haven't started working out yet, that would be a time to start working out, or if you are working out, maybe add a little bit more cardio. Again, it's all about playing with that energy balance and just trying to find what works for you. But my tip and what I recommend to everybody that I'm working with is always try to increase activity before you decrease calories. There's nothing wrong with decreasing calories, but if you can increase the activity and still be in a deficit, That's what I always recommend to people. Now again, there's a dangerous way that you can play that as well. If you're always increasing the activity and you are just like, you're in the gym for hours and hours and hours and hours, and you're still eating a good amount of calories, it might be more beneficial for you to actually decrease your calories instead of trying to increase the activity, especially if you're already working out twice a day or something like that. Most people aren't dealing with that, but there are definitely people that get addicted to exercise. So again, it's all about finding what works for you. This next one might seem kind of simple and obvious, but if you are not tracking your calories yet, this is the time that it might be beneficial for you to start actually tracking your calories. Or if you're already tracking your calories, this might be a time for you to start tracking your macros, your protein, your carbs, your fats, and getting more on point with those. And above all else, it is very important that you are consistent. Again, the closer you get to that goal weight, the less wiggle room you are going to have with your calories. So again, the more consistent you need to be so you can see what changes are actually working for you. A little example for you guys was when I got to my lowest weight, 180 pounds, when I stepped on stage, this is exactly what I did. It was all about making those small changes, especially once you get closer to that goal weight or to the lowest weight that you're gonna be, whatever it is. It's about making those small changes. Nothing super crazy, but it's about making those small changes, being consistent with those, and seeing what your body does when you do make those changes. So whether that's, decreasing calories a little bit, increasing your activity, it's not rocket science, guys. Like for me, it's all about the numbers. It's a numbers game, and that's exactly what I did to lose that last little bit of weight. Now, with that being said, just because it might be simple, I'm not at all saying that this is easy. This is not easy. It's very difficult. It's hard when you're hungry. It's hard when you want to have that little snack and you just want to maybe be like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. When you're struggling with those last couple pounds, those things that wouldn't have been a big deal at the start, right? When you had 100 pounds to lose, they do matter. They start to matter. So it's up to you to decide, do I really need to lose these last 10 pounds? And this is a really important point, is that a lot of people feel like they need to hit this goal weight. They need to hit this weight when in reality, they might be at a weight. You might be at a weight where you're completely healthy, you're completely happy, your body is performing well, but in your head, you've made this number out that you need to hit. But is the sacrifice that you're gonna need to make, right? Is lowering the calories, is increasing the cardio, is it really going to be worth it to lose those last couple pounds? And that is something you have to decide for yourself. For me, when I stepped on stage, there was a reason I was trying to lose that last little bit of weight, right? I knew I was gonna be stepping on stage. I wanted to bring the best package I could possible. But if you're just in this because you want to be healthier, is losing that last, those last 5 pounds, those last 10 pounds, is it really 100% necessary for you? Or are you gonna have to do things that are a little too drastic that aren't gonna be sustainable anyways, to where you lose the weight and then you end up gaining it back? Again, I don't know. I can't answer that question for you. That is something that you need to answer for yourself. But again, these are just my tips and the things that have worked for me. I'm not sitting here saying that this is the only way that this will work. But again, this is what I use, this is what worked for me, so hopefully some of the points in this video help you out. I wanna say thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. There was one other thing that I wanted to say. Oh yeah, look up, fam!
Obey the warning signs, and when there are flashing lights or wigwags, don't attempt to cross until they come to a complete stop.